Hello, fellow fibromyalgia warriors. How are you? I hope you're well. I am doing extremely well. It is Saturday, June the 10th. I am standing in my back garden. As you can see, some of the foliage back here. It is 24 degrees on Saturday, June 10th here in Colchester, England. Beautiful, glorious day. God is amazing. Just wanted to quickly check in, and I hope that you guys are doing well. If you're not doing well, that's okay to not be okay, because those moments happen. But I hope you are well soon. I hope you will be encouraged, and hopefully you'll be inspired, and remember, God is always looking out for us. And I have just been feeling so incredible lately. So Thursday, I have to share, we had tickets to go to a gig to see one of my favorite bands, an amazing death metal band called Carcass, and we got to see them down in Southend, about an hour south of here, at a venue called Chinnery's. It was absolutely amazing. The two opening bands were incredible, so great. And let me just quickly take a side moment and add, yes, I am a Christian and I love heavy metal. I also love 80s pop, be it Britpop or pop from like Cyndi Lauper, Madonna, The Cure, etc. And I also love music from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. So I like a lot of everything. And I had an amazing victory at this gig on Thursday evening, because for the first time in 9 years, I was able to be in a venue not having to sit in a wheelchair. Now, I did sit, but I sat in a regular wood chair. It had like those pole things running up and down across the back of it, so my lower back had some support. But that's what I sat in for the evening. I still can't stand for really long periods of time, but it was great. The venue was really accommodating. We got there, and they said, yeah, absolutely, I could have a chair to sit in. They brought it into the actual vet, because it's also a bar. But in the area that was where the stage and everything is, they found me a spot not too far from, I guess if you walked into the venue, it would be on the left-hand side of the room, which I think is stage right, they call it. Anyways, the security guys helped me find a place to sit, and had sort of like a view kind of in front of me, which gave me a view of the side of the stage, so I could see what was going on with the opening bands, and they were amazing. Like I said, they were really great. Unto Others was incredible, like a mix of The Cure meets, as my husband described it, typo negative, which makes sense. No, they were amazing before Carcass came out, but it was great. Now, the seat got a little bit hard to sit on after a while, but for the most part, I was actually pretty comfortable. And yes, my husband dropped our son and I off near the venue, and then he went and parked. But I didn't need a chair at all for the whole evening. And I had to stretch a little bit here and there, because I was getting a little bit stiff and sore, but nowhere near what I used to. And in fact, one of the security guys saw that I was sitting for a reason and asked if I wanted to sit side stage for Carcass, which of course I said yes, which is amazing. I could see everything going on. I wasn't in the way of the mosh pit. I wasn't, my view wasn't blocked. It was incredible. I didn't ask for it. They offered it, which was amazing. And the reason why I share all this mainly was to say that, you know what, for the first time in ages, I felt like a regular member of the audience. I didn't need crutches. I didn't need to be sitting in a chair or on a special cushion. And it was amazing. And while a lot of that was already starting to get better just by being carnivore, this last week or so of taking these Cerule stem cell product, which is phenomenal stuff, my energy levels are 100% every single day. So even if I'm awake at 6, just because that's when my body seems to wake up, I have energy to spare. Okay, I do not have this lingering exhaustion any longer. Also, my pain levels, my pain has gone, reduction of my pain has gone from 80% reduced just through Carnivore to 90%. Yeah. And since being on Cerule, it's about 97, 98%. It's almost 100% gone most of the time. You know, after the show, we had to walk a block and a half to where the car was parked. And actually, I was able to do that walk quite comfortably. Am I doing long distances? No, I'm not. But every day it feels as though I'm healing more and more. God is so looking after me. It's miraculous. Like I said, I was carnivore first for almost 3 years before I even considered Cerule. And if you want to know more, go to Professor Bart Kay's channel where he talks about it and why it works and how it works, all of that good stuff. God has created the incredible scientific minds that formulated these nutraceuticals, and they work. I am completely 100% medication free. My thyroid is no longer underactive. I'm off thyroid medication. I'm off all statins. I am off cocodamol, or for those of you in North America, Tylenol 3s with codeine. I'm off gabapentin. I'm off all of that. All of it. I am off my antidepressants, and I've never felt better. Physically, for sure. Mentally, absolutely. Emotionally, and especially spiritually, I feel as though I have been able to have a greater relationship with God, especially over these last few months, than I've ever had in my whole life. And that's after almost 30 years of being a Christian. It's incredible. For those of you who are who have been in touch and who have, shared about starting to become more carnivore and finding your own healing, amen for that. That is absolutely God. He's looking out for all of us. He has an incredible plan. We have free will to choose to eat whatever we want, to choose to believe what we want, to choose to do what we want. That does not mean there are not consequences for our choices. But of course, we have free will. I am grateful that I'm freely and willingly choosing to be a carnivore. I am grateful that I'm freely and willingly choosing to be a woman of faith, to walk as a Christian, to try every day to be as full of hope and patience and perseverance as I possibly can. And when I mess up, because I will, because we all do, God is right there waiting to help me start over again, which is such an amazing thing. God has a great plan, and I may not always see how it's going to go or why it's happening, for certain things happen for whatever reason, but I know that He's looking after me, and that cannot be disputed. Just like prescription medications can have a place. In fact, God created the men and women who invented antibiotics, who invented insulin, who created different drugs to help with people who have suffered from a heart attack or stroke or whatever the case might be. But ultimately, God has a plan to help us prevent these things from happening in the first place. There will come a time when we all face judgment and we will have to come before God. Personally, I want to know that I have a clear conscience, not because I'm so great or anything like that, but because of God's incredible mercy through Jesus' sacrifice. I know that one day I get to go to heaven. Nothing on this earth will last. one day it will all go away and we will have the most amazing gift of salvation with him. That's what I look forward to. And in the meantime, the most amazing healing and recovery that I've ever experienced in my life, ever. So it's your choice. You don't have to eat this way. You don't have to try the Cerule products. Of course not. Everyone makes their own choices. I would say I have found nothing but benefits. I've had nothing but improvement in my health and my overall well-being. And that has allowed me to connect with God, which is only going to be a positive experience. I would ask the question, well, what have you got to lose? Maybe you have weight to lose, right, as in body mass. But more than that, maybe you have healing to do. Maybe you have chronic pain to overcome. Maybe you have digestive issues. Maybe you have thyroid problems, depression, anxiety, other mental health issues. I don't know. And I'm not saying that I can guarantee you that Cerule will fix these things, because I can't make those claims. But I would say that in my case, Carnivore healed all of those things within me, anywhere between 80 to, say, 90%. The Cerule took it to that final step where I feel like I'm almost 100% recovered. And I know that I will be walking soon, that I will be completely chair-free, that I will be able to get to places that are a few minutes away on my own 2 feet. Because God is amazing. God heals. God is the great physician and the great healer. Meat is the medicine. And these stem cell products and other Cerule products, I've not tried the other ones, but the one I have tried has simply boosted my recovery time 1,000-fold. Hopefully it will do the same for you. But I do know this. I know that God is incredible. You know, the fact that I could sit in a regular, even though it was a chair with a hardwood seat, for, let's see, we got there at 7. The first band went on just before 8, and we left after, I think everything finished by around 11:30. That's 3.5 hours on a hardwooden seat, which I could not do for even a few minutes in the past. And to be able to get up and walk 1.5 blocks to where my husband parked the car with minimal pain. In fact, virtually no pain from the walking. That is miraculous. That is the God that works. That is the God that has made it clear that we should be eating an animal-based diet. Again, who created the humans with the intelligence to formulate these stem cell products that actually work, and as I'm sure the other Cerule products do too. That's God. Sometimes he works through other people. Sometimes he works directly, but he's always working. And I'm so glad he is. I hope you guys have a fantastic, faithful, inspired, and inspiring rest of your weekend. I will try to have some content for you guys again in the next few days. Just keep you up to date with what's going on in my life. But I hope you're encouraged. And if you're at a place where you feel like, yeah, well, this would never work for me. Yeah, well, this is too hard. Yeah, well, it'll never make any difference. Let me just leave you with this thought. May of 2020, so just over 3 years ago, I was 210 pounds. 210 pounds. I'm only 5'5". I could barely get out of bed. I could barely do any sort of movement through the house at all. And now I'm down to about 120, 125, just for reference sake. But more than that, all of these other issues like IBS, chronic pain, extreme fatigue, brain fog, depression, anxiety, bulimia, and struggling with the self-image issues are gone. They're completely gone. I've been able to, clean the floors in the kitchen, wipe down all the countertops, just having energy to spare, which I never would have anticipated being true, even 3 years ago. I never thought I could even be off medications to any extent, and yet here we are, and I am. If you are on meds, that's okay. If you're not there yet, that's okay. I wasn't either. As to what makes it so that we can be, I don't know. But I had to heal in a lot of different areas before that last bit could be a factor. And so it is possible. I hope this is what gives you hope and inspiration and encouragement. It is possible. And it is absolutely something that can happen for anyone. God loves us all. And while you can choose to eat what you like, take whatever supplements you feel work, I would simply say, based on my own personal experience, carnivore is the best, and it is what works, and it is what God had planned for us from the beginning. Just look into Genesis if you don't believe me. And also, when you've done everything else possible, when you've been carnivore for a while, giving yourself time to start healing, and there's that last little tiny bit left that just doesn't seem to be going anywhere, the Cerule products may be of help as well. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for all your support, all your kind words and encouragement, and your faith. And I hope that you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, enjoying this beautiful weather that I hope you're having too. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Bye for now.